Have you ever wondered about the impact of large-scale migration on a country's social and economic fabric? What if, for example, the Philippines were to accept an influx of Americans into their home country? Suppose for a moment that the Philippines, a nation known for its warm hospitality and vibrant culture, opens its doors to a significant number of American immigrants. Picture the fusion of cultures, the exchange of ideas, the blending of traditions. Intriguing, isn't it? But have you ever considered the potential repercussions? Imagine the possible scenarios that could lead to such an American influx. Perhaps it's the allure of the Philippines' tropical climate, or maybe it's the allure of the country's economic opportunities. Or could it be the result of policy changes in the United States that lead to an exodus of its citizens? Now let's ponder about the potential socio-economic implications. How could the local Filipino culture be affected? The Philippines, with its rich and diverse cultural heritage, could face an overwhelming wave of American influence. Would the Filipino identity be diluted, or would it instead evolve and adapt to this new cultural landscape? And what about the economy? The Philippines, like any other country, has a finite amount of resources. Could an influx of Americans stretch these resources thin? Would the locals be left grappling with inflation as demand for goods and services skyrockets? But it's not just about culture and economy. What about the job market? Could this influx lead to an imbalance, with locals being squeezed out of job opportunities? Would industries cater more to the skills and experiences of the new immigrants, leaving locals to pick up the crumbs? As you can see, the implications of such a large-scale migration are far-reaching and complex. They extend beyond the immediate and obvious, reaching into the very heart of a nation's identity and its people's livelihoods. In the next segment, we will delve deeper into the potential cultural consequences. So stick around, keep your thinking caps on, and let's explore this fascinating topic together. Subscribe for more amazing content. Until then, keep wondering. How might the rich and diverse culture of the Philippines change with the arrival of a large number of Americans? This question ignites a cascade of thoughts, doesn't it? Let's start with language. The Philippines is a nation of over 100 languages, each one a thread in the vibrant tapestry of its culture. But what happens when English, the mother tongue of the Americans, becomes more prevalent? Would this lead to a linguistic homogenization, with local languages fading into the background, or worse, disappearing altogether? Next, consider food. The Philippines is known for its unique and flavorful cuisine, a delightful fusion of East and West. But with the arrival of a large number of Americans, there could be a surge in demand for American food, leading to a proliferation of fast food chains and a decline in traditional eateries. Would this mean less adobo and more burgers, less sinigang and more pizzas? Then there are the traditional customs, the heart and soul of the Filipino identity. Festivals like Sinulog and Pahiyas, the Bayanihan spirit, the close-knit family ties. These are the things that make the Philippines uniquely Filipino. But with a significant American presence, these customs could be at risk of being overshadowed or diluted by Western traditions. Could we see a day when Halloween trumps Undas, or when Thanksgiving takes precedence over Noche Buena? These potential cultural shifts are not just about losing what is uniquely Filipino. It's about the risk of cultural dilution and the loss of cultural heritage. It's about the potential fading of a rich tapestry of languages, foods, and customs that have been woven together over centuries. So as we ponder on these potential cultural consequences, we must ask ourselves, is this a price worth paying? And are there ways to embrace change without losing what makes the Philippines uniquely Filipino? Next, we will explore the potential economic implications of this migration scenario. Could the Philippine economy benefit or suffer from an influx of Americans? Now, there's a question that's been making the rounds. With the arrival of a high number of Americans, the Philippines could see both positive and negative economic implications. On the positive side, we may see increased investment and consumption. A larger population means a larger consumer base, which could lead to a boost in the economy. More people buying goods and services can stimulate economic growth, and increased demand could drive expansion in various sectors. Additionally, with more Americans settling in the Philippines, there could be an influx of foreign direct investment. This could come from the settlers themselves or from American companies that see a new market opportunity. These investments could stimulate the economy, lead to job creation, and potentially improve infrastructure and services. But there's always the other side of the coin. The influx of Americans could lead to job market imbalances and wage disparity. If Americans bring their businesses and start hiring locally, it could create a job market imbalance. This is because the jobs they create might not match the skills of the local workforce. Furthermore, if these American businesses offer higher wages than local companies, it could lead to wage disparity. Local businesses might struggle to compete, and this could exacerbate income inequality. Another major concern is the potential for economic dependency on the new settlers. If the Philippine economy becomes too reliant on the spending and investment of the American settlers, it could become vulnerable to economic shocks. For instance, if there's a downturn in the US economy and the settlers decide to leave or cut back on their spending, it could have a significant impact on the Philippine economy. So as we can see, the economic implications of an influx of Americans in the Philippines are complex and multifaceted. There are potential benefits, but also significant risks. Now let's turn our attention to the possible effects on the job market. What might happen to the job market in the Philippines with a significant increase in American immigrants? This question takes us down a rabbit hole of potential scenarios. Let's start with the most pressing concern: job displacement. An influx of American immigrants could mean a surge in the labor force, potentially pushing local Filipino workers out of their jobs. Especially in sectors where Americans have a competitive edge, like information technology or finance, local workers might find themselves at a disadvantage. And then there's wage disparity. American workers accustomed to higher wages might demand salaries that far exceed local norms. This could drive up wage expectations, which might be good for some, but could also lead to inflation and make life more expensive for everyone. Increased competition is another factor to consider. More people vying for the same jobs can lead to an oversaturated job market. This could make it harder for local Filipinos to find work and could even lead to lower wages in some sectors. But it's not all doom and gloom. An increase in American immigrants could also create new opportunities. Americans might bring with them new industries and businesses, creating jobs that didn't exist before. They might also demand goods and services that were previously unavailable, leading to the growth of new sectors in the economy. However, with these opportunities comes the risk of exploitation. Without proper regulations, American businesses might take advantage of local workers, paying them less than their American counterparts for the same work. This could lead to a situation where the benefits of this migration are enjoyed mostly by the immigrants, with the locals bearing the brunt of the costs. As we navigate these potential scenarios, it becomes clear that the impact on the job market would be complex and multifaceted. There are no easy answers, but one thing is certain: the job market in the Philippines would never be the same. Lastly, we will consider how such a migration could affect the Philippines' political landscape. How could a large influx of Americans reshape the political landscape in the Philippines? This isn't just a question of numbers, it's a question of influence, of power dynamics, and of the subtle ripple effects that can alter the course of a nation's political journey. When we talk about large-scale migration, we're not just talking about people moving from one place to another. We're talking about the transfer of ideas, of values, of cultural norms. And when those ideas start to permeate a society, they can have a profound impact on the political landscape. Imagine for a moment the potential for increased Western influence on the Philippines' policies and governance. The United States, with its emphasis on democracy and individual freedoms, could potentially transform the way the Philippines views its own political system. This could lead to a shift in policy priorities, a re-evaluation of the country's political structure, or even a push for greater governmental transparency and accountability. But with this potential for transformation comes risk. The introduction of a large, culturally distinct population could also lead to political instability. If the existing population feels threatened or marginalized, it could trigger social unrest. It could exacerbate existing tensions or create new ones. And let's not forget the role of the global stage. The Philippines, with its strategic location and growing economy, is already a key player in Southeast Asia. A significant American presence could shift the balance of power in the region, with implications that reach far beyond the country's borders. As we have seen, the potential impact of large-scale American migration to the Philippines could be far-reaching and complex. It's a topic that warrants further exploration, further discussion. Because understanding these potential impacts isn't just about predicting the future. It's about learning from our past, about recognizing the intricate web of connections that shape our world. And it's about asking the questions that help us navigate the challenges of today and the uncertainties of tomorrow. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.